Hit that like button, just like Tyson.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do. Flip out!
What's that word, family?
Apply the pressure.
We back. We back. We better than ever, man, today. We got a special guest joining
Apply the
the
pressure.
podcast tonight, man.
Pressure.
You know, I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Fresh out the feds and I'm back at it. Got black
And,
nigga disappear.
I want y'all to just sit back, enjoy the show. We got some real powerful topics that we will be talking about. We will be talking about police shootings.
Ain't never been luck. I'm level
Yeah,
enough. I'm
we're
level
talking
enough.
about police shootings around here
Never
today.
enough. In love with the gas, but never
And
enough.
I just want you guys to enjoy the show.
Pull out a sack and I tell
Sit
her
back,
I'm done. Then I
put
roll
them
over and
seatbelts
roll me a
on,
blunt. A son of a
enjoy
gun,
this
a
ride.
son of a bitch. Pick either
Yep. All right, like I said, we got a special guest in the building, man. And I'm gonna let him introduce himself. So let me bring this special guest on and tell the people, who are you and what do you do?
Yo, what's up, people? My name is Trey Vietnam. That's what you can call me. And I am a gun rights activist, a little different than anybody you ever seen because I go a little deeper than what a lot of people do. I cut straight to the bone of these issues, man. And I think there's a bottom line truth to what's really going on and how we really should be reacting.
Well, let me say this about you, Trey. You know, I met you in the city of Cedar Rapids in Iowa, man. And you know, I had to come over and ask you a couple of questions because you were standing on the corner with an AR-15 and a sign that said, "Hug an AR owner." I was like, wow.
Yeah. You know, that was my little. You know, that came about as a joke at first, man. Because me and my cousin, we was into the gun rights activism, and I wanted to be louder than just running my mouth on social media. I wanted to really get out in the streets and do something so I can show people what it is I'm talking about. And I was like, man, we got to learn from the mistakes of other people, white and black, who tried to do this and had like bad things happen. And I was just like, yo, if I had a sign that said hug an AR owner and I can get people to hug me on camera, that'd be proof that you can get around me and relax and get close enough to let me hug you. I'm that harmless, but I'm gonna rock my shit. And it went from joking, talking to my cousin, being like, nah, we doing this shit.
Right. Hey, before we really get you started on your background and all of that, I'm gonna add my homeboy Crazy the Don onto the show. Crazy the Don. Everybody give it up for Crazy.
What's going on with the peoples? How y'all feeling, man?
Well, you know, I think the people, you know, they good now. We on the air, you know what I'm saying? So I think they good now. You know, they finna get a little bit of knowledge. And we finna kick the facts, man. We finna kick the straight facts. So back to you, Trey. So you started standing on the street corner with an AR-15 as a joke.
Yeah, man. Just like, just spitballing, talking to my cousin about how, how into guns we really were, man. And like really respecting guns as being like the bottom line, natural ground level, hey, every man is a man. You mean that and you can stand by that and get respected like that and give that same respect that everybody got a gun. It's an even field to play. I don't got to be Bruce Lee. I don't got to be Tyson. I don't got to challenge you and your guys. If you can threaten serious harm to me, black, white, cop, whatever, I got a fighting chance, bro. You talk about my life, man. I got a fighting chance. Now we even.
Yeah, I do believe in black people need to bear arms. Now, it's been a study that went on that said black people are actually buying guns now.
Yeah.
Especially black women.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing, man. But the way my frame of mind work, hey, welcome to the party, but y'all late. I've been saying, you know what I'm saying, that the only thing that anybody can really ever expect from you is for you not to hurt them. But after that, they can't expect for you to lay down your life for them or no bullshit that anybody on ever. And you make sure that that's, what you can really be on when you talk about your life and get a gun, bro. That's what that shit about.
Trey, how did you get your first handgun or your first gun?
Man, when I got my first gun, man, me and my girl went on a walk, man, for like we always do on a nice summer night, man. And one day we got stalked. Some dude was really chasing us and following us. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know who he was or where he was coming from. And after that, I was like, why I don't got a gun, man? Like, I ain't do nothing to nobody. Like, who is this white man? He was a white dude too, and it was an older guy. I never seen him a day in my life, man. But he like literally chased me and my girl through this neighborhood. So I was like, yep, buying a pistol. And,
Wow.
that was the reason why I bought my first gun.
Wow, that sounds like a scary event for you and your girl.
Yeah,
Now,
man.
is she strapped too now?
This is an ex girl, but I made sure we got strapped. I bought my first little gun, and then after that, man, I bought like 6 guns in like 2 years, and 2 of them was hers. She had 2 of them.
Wow.
Okay.
Like we just like, yeah, no, we not playing. We're gonna be the peaceful, loving people that we are, but we gonna be armed for defense. You know what I'm saying? So we was like, yeah, this is what we doing, man.
Right. You know, like I said, I believe that every man has the right to bear arms because of the simple fact we got people out here that's crazy, Looney Tunes, running up on people.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a crazy, intense story that you just told us.
Yeah, man, like we really didn't know what he was on and what he was capable of doing. I didn't sleep that night. She didn't sleep for like 2 or 3 nights, and the more and more it was bugging her, the more and more I started feeling like, man, I ain't really got a fighting chance if this turned into something crazy, like if we really being stalked or something like that. Like, and I in all honesty, man, I felt like less of a man because she was scared, and I felt like I couldn't stop nobody from hurting. I was like, man, fuck all of that. I don't like the way that feel at all, bro.
Right. Hey, I actually brought you here on the show so we can discuss police shootings.
Oh man.
Now, I got a few videos that I would like to show you guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off with the 13-year-old boy that was shot and killed in Chicago. Now check this out, and then we'll be back with commentary.
Man, there's so much wrong with this shit. What I really don't like is that there's a certain level of courage and awareness that should be present when you're doing this kind of police work, man. When you know he's chasing this kid, man, and they love to find that instant where it seems reasonable that they will fear for their life, so that they can just shoot people, and they do this shit to white boys too. It's the issue is this illusion of authority, man. There's this illusion of authority that police have. To me, I feel like what it is that they're doing to try to control society is like way too far.
Right.
It's way too far, man. They got too much. They got their hands in too much shit. Way too deep into our lives, man. And they just need to be told to just back down a little bit. He's doing too much with chasing this kid and all that. I would like to know what the kid was accused of doing.
Well, the kid was accused of they heard because they got gunshot technology in Chicago.
Okay.
The kid was accused of shooting a gun, and as we can see right there, it does appear in the steel frame that he had something in his hand. Then he threw his hands up. But I think that the officer overreacted and reacted too quickly, because in the other freeze frame, you can see the kid has both of his hands in the air without anything in them.
Yeah.
It took this officer a couple eighths of a second, or you know what I'm saying, less than a second, to shoot this boy after he said freeze. You know what I'm saying? So Crazy, what you feel about that video that we just showed right there?
I feel like it's really too many people that want to have authority over everybody else, and you steadily saying that you fear for your life. Why are you in these positions that you think you can govern over the people, or police as it is? Why do you think that you can pull your weapon as soon as you meet somebody? You said freeze. Give him a chance to to raise his hands up, drop whatever's in him, knowing the environment that it is a lot going on with police shootings. Will you want to be another one that's on the news, on TV, on the internet, saying that you shot somebody in cold blood? Think before you act, man. I can understand being a gun owner and everything. It's a thought process that goes on before you even pull your gun out. what is going on that I'm feeling afraid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
I think that was a cold-blooded murder caught on
I do
camera.
too.
That was a
And it,
murder.
I
yeah,
I
and
definitely believe that.
it's also bittersweet because when black folks was riding in Chicago, the Mexicans were attacking black people that were coming through their neighborhood, saying that they were looters, but they were actually attacking like elderly people, pregnant women. I think they even threw something through somebody's car and killed them. So these are the same Mexicans that was involved in those situations, that were working with the police, telling the police that they could stand down because they had their back. Now these are the same Mexicans. Now I noticed that black folks did not come out in droves due to the fact that they were being attacked, from the same Mexicans in this neighborhood. And it just shows us how racist a city like Chicago is. Now, I know how racist Chicago is,
Hmm.
but like I say, especially between blacks and Mexicans. But like I say, black folks refuse to show up and show out because of what was happening. What do you think about that particular situation? Crazy.
In that particular situation, I'm gonna tell you like this, right? Regardless to what a life was took it, you know what I'm saying? And if you really what you say you about, then you would stand up and be just as involved for that incident as the last incident, no matter the color. That person had a right to life. Same as me, the same as you, the same as the white guy down the street or the Mexican around the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He has a right, man, and we should all stand up for him too.
What'd you think about what I just said, Trey?
Yeah, I agree with Crazy to Don, man, because it's like there just seems to be like this line drawn in the sand between us and them, as if somehow they're different species of man, or somehow they supermen or gods or something. But cops are just cops. You know what I'm saying? They just people. But this illusion of authority, man, gives them like this leeway, and it's a war tactic, really, to
Hmm.
dehumanize your opposition, because it makes it easier for you to cross them lines, or like devalue their life, man, and they really see it as them and us, and we know that that's what the case is, because we get involved in racial stuff. You know what I'm saying? We can feel the racial tension, but when you talk about some cops, that white cop think that black cop is his brother because they cops, and the both of them will bust our ass either way.
True that. True that.
There's
Now,
a
my homeboy Nutty just slid in. Came to the show a little bit late. How you doing, brother?
I'm here. I'm here. How you?
Oh man, we
Man,
we feeling great, man.
How
You
everybody
missed.
else doing?
man, it's all gravy, family.
yeah, man.
We got a guest with us today, Nutty. My homeboy Trey, man. He's a guns right advocate for black folks, right, or just for everybody.
For everybody but black people, for sure. I love being in the hood and speaking my people, but man, yeah, this shit for everybody.
Yeah.
That gun,
Okay.
that gun shit for everybody. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Holy shit! I just shot him.
Oh wow.
Yes!
That video is alarming because we have a guy that is clearly unarmed and he was shot by the police. Now, this guy did wrestle with the police, tried to get back in his vehicle. But it's a difference between this story and the story we just played. Now, in this story, the officer was immediately arrested. In the last story, the officer was not arrested. And this makes the second officer that was arrested by Minnesota police this year, I do believe. The guy that killed George Floyd, he's in the courthouse around 10 miles from that particular area
Yeah, they going
where
through
that
it.
shooting happened. Yeah, they're going through it in Minnesota, man. We want to pray for our brothers and sisters in Minnesota, number one. Now, tell me how you feel about that video, Nutty.
Okay, so I was just looking at it, right? I didn't actually see when they shot him. Did they shoot him when he pulled off? Was they tasing him? What was going on?
She yelled taser, but she actually had a pistol. And a lot of people are pissed off at her because of the simple fact that she should have knew the difference between a taser and a pistol.
Yeah, no doubt.
But she shot him right before he pulled off. Once she shot him, that's when she fell back and he just pulled off.
Oh yeah, that. Hey, there's no excuse because, to my understanding, all tasers got a big yellow or orange highlighted thing at the front of it. You know, when you looking down a barrel or something, and I don't see this orange, I don't see this yellow. This can't be a taser. Like that's a crock of shit.
Yeah.
What you feel about that, Trey?
Yeah, man. Like even if some way somehow she was that spacey that she really did not know. Let's say she honestly didn't know. Look at the incompetence. Look at the level of like neglect in something as basic as that people into this lane of law enforcement. That's a red flag, like a motherfucker. Like what the fuck? Even if it's genuine, it's still like what the fuck?
Yeah.
The fuck? So
Yeah.
either way, she got to go. She got to get prosecuted to the fullest extent of that law that she loves so much.
Let me ask you this, Trey.
Go live that shit then. Because she got it coming.
Let me ask you this, Trey. Why didn't the Chicago police officer get arrested?
Because they trying to justify that shit because the kid really had a gun. And they always try to find that point where they say, at this point, it is justified to be completely terrified for your life. And what you do is just going to look like self-defense. And they just felt like that point was crossed when it was visible that the boy had the gun. They was like, boom, he can spaz right now at any point whenever he feel like it. And dude gave it like point whatever seconds, and he started firing, and they went, yeah, that's what we expect to happen. Like they expected that shit.
Wow. Crazy to done. What do you think about that video?
I'm gonna say this, right, because I've seen that video. This is a woman that was supposedly training other officers. And
let me cut in real quick, Crazy. Let me cut in real quick. This lady is like a 26-year veteran of the Minneapolis police force.
Yeah.
She's not a rookie.
So that made me question her. That made me question her motives for even saying taser. You said taser and knew it wasn't even a taser and shot anyway.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's what I thought. Me being a conspiracy theorist that I am.
See, this
I
thing,
thought that.
right?
Hold on one second, Crazy. I thought that she yelled taser, taser, taser to try to cover her ass, knowing that she wanted to shoot that guy.
Knowing
anyway.
that she wanted to shoot him. Yes.
That's exactly what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't work for her.
This the thing. This the thing about that. You can honestly feel the weight in a gun, and you can honestly feel the weight of a taser, and be able to tell the difference. Number one, if you are around guns or trained by guns, you know your gun is always going to be on your dominant side. If you're right-handed, your gun is going to be on the right side of your body. And for an officer, I would assume it's the same thing. So your taser would probably be on your weak side. So why would you go with the dominant side knowing that that's where your lethal weapon is? Remember, you were trained.
Yeah.
So that won't ever hold up in court.
You think this lady gonna get convicted, Nutty?
They never do, bro. If she do, it's gonna be a tap on the wrist, a light manslaughter. You know what I'm saying? She gonna get out in 2-3 years. Some slight, bro. They never get punished.
Well, I think she was actually charged for manslaughter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna never charge them with capital murder.
Not at all.
That man, to me, man, that look like murder, man. Like,
that's premeditated murder.
There you go. That's the exact words I was gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, she knew what was gonna happen when she pulled that trigger. There's no way that she not aware of what she got in her hands, man. I don't believe that.
And it's 2, 3 of
Mhm.
y'all, and it's just him.
Right, they actually knew the guy's name. They could have just let him pull off and caught back up with him later.
Got his license plate number and everything.
Now, this guy was a father of I think, 2-year-old child. 21 years old, maybe 20 years old, I do believe. Parents had been together for years and years and years. You know, it's very devastating when we see
Man.
things like this go on in the black community.
Man, look what they doing, man. That's crazy. Look what they
Now,
did to that baby.
yeah, you know, the
Man.
13-year-old shot, killed by police. You know, and it's almost like the officer, once he touched his body, he recognized that he was a child. You know what I'm saying? Because they tried to render aid to the 13-year-old kid, but it was too late.
Man.
Trey, I think I talked to you about your children before, right?
Yeah.
Do you plan on having your children trained to use firearms?
Oh yeah. My son, I got a 17-year-old, and my next child is 4. So I got a 17-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 7-month-old. So for 13 years, I just had one child, and then I just started backdooring kids. That's crazy. But I don't know why.
I was gonna say that.
That's crazy. Just back to back, man. Like no way. Shooting the club up. But all my kids gonna leave with a bulletproof vest, a rifle, and a shotgun. And on their 21st birthday, they're gonna get that pistol from me, so that they can be whatever I am to them when I'm not around. And they gonna be strapped, and they not going for nothing.
Man, it sounds like that experience that you told us about, like it really traumatized y'all.
Oh yeah, man. It took me like from recognizing like a handgun or any other firearm as the equalizer. It was somebody threatening your life. It went from that to me getting involved in a little bit of trouble, and the police took my guns, and I realized how crazy that was, and I had to rebuild on my little collection of shit. And between that and a custody battle, I just started like really distrusting government and looking into it, and then I just went, I seen enough shit that they get involved in what they do to the world, that I was just like, nah, I'm not rocking with y'all. I'm not gonna respect none of y'all, and this shit to the death, and fuck you when I mean it, and you not the boss of me, bro.
So you said they took away your weapons. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, my baby mama during a custody battle, you know what I'm saying, tried to pretend like she was scared of me. But in Illinois, they passed order protections out like candy. So she got this weak ass order protection on me without me ever being charged or even threatened, or even not being charged for hurting nobody or even threatening nobody. All she had to do was say she was scared, and then I lost my guns for like a year off that. My shit was suspended for a year, so I had to give all my guns up.
That sounds like some BS.
Yeah, and then they called my shit asset forfeiture. They said it was an asset forfeiture because I didn't have a licensed firearm, a licensed firearm owner that could come take my guns from them, because they only gonna hold my shit for a year. But the order protection was for 2 years. So
Right.
when I got stuck with the order protection and couldn't have any firearms, but in Illinois, but in Iowa, I had that 1 year suspension. They was like, come get this shit or we calling it forfeit property. I'm like, Illinois said I can't have them. I got this order protection for another year. And they was like, well, you forfeit your property. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? They took 6 guns from me like that, man.
That shit design. That shit all by design. It sound like.
Yeah, man. The whole shit was crazy. They fucked my whole shit up with that. But when I bounced back, I went bulletproof vest, bought like 4 guns in 3 months. I came back like, fuck that.
You know, Nutty, you wasn't here, but when I met this guy, he was standing on the corner with a bulletproof vest on, an AR-15, and a sign that said, hug an AR owner. I'm glad that he came to the show. I hope he'd be a reoccurring guest, because, I can tell right now the public's going to love him. You know what I'm saying? Well, you already do a lot of stuff on the internet as far as videotaping yourself. You know, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, man, that was one of the protective measures that I had to go through to satisfy my mom. For when I told my moms I was going to do this, she was like, "Boy, like I know you want to stand up for something, but they killed Malcolm. Like, what is you trying to do?" And
Yeah.
so I was like, "Yo, I want I'm gonna get the bulletproof vest." And I'm gonna take this sign out there to show people that it's really all love, and I'm just out here trying to solicit some hugs, man, to get some love out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be ready and diligent about protecting myself, but I got to do this, mom. And between that and live streaming when I go out as a protective measure to keep everything in the clear about who I am, what I was doing, and what happened if something ever go down. You know what I'm saying? And between that, the sign, and the vest, my mom's like, "Okay, man, go for it, man."
Have the police came at you as far as get on the ground and all of that type of stuff?
Nah, because I really be trying to learn from what other people be doing when shit go wrong. Because these cops actually swore an oath to protect my right to do this. If they the reason why shit go bad, that's the tragedy. They supposed to die to protect my right to do this. Like I can't let that happen. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna bring the sign. That's proof right there. I'm gonna get recordings, video recordings of me being hugged by regular people who don't know who the fuck I am or what I'm doing. But if they can come up here and hug me, a cop can approach me and not fucking wig out. This 17-year-old girl that don't know me just came up here and hugged me, bro. You can relax. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to, establish that. And when I first started going out, I would call Cedar Rapids police and say, "This is who I am and what I'm doing and where I'm going to be at and for how long." And I did that like the first 3 or 4 times. And after that, I was like, I'm not calling y'all no more, because when I call, y'all wish me luck. Y'all comment on the weather being nice. And y'all seem to know who I am before I can even tell you what I'm doing. So I'm not calling you no more. So I stopped calling them. And since I softened them up like that, they ain't never really run down on me, bro. They never did, man.
Strategic.
Yeah, I had to learn for whatever's getting everybody else fucked up so I don't get fucked up.
Strategic. Yeah.
I was trying to survive this shit. I ain't want to die for it.
That brings us to this last video clip. I want y'all to realize the differences within this situation.
Show me the picture right away. I got paperwork I gotta do, you know? Hey, real quick. You have a firearm on you? Yeah. No, I see it. Please, do me a favor. You mind if I take it off you for my safety? Alright, hold on. Alright, let's go to my vehicle, okay? Come on.
Okay, guys, that was graphic. Right? What do y'all think about what was the difference within this interaction of a guy being pulled over for dark tint? He has no plates on his vehicle, and he admits to the cops that he has a firearm. What was the difference between this interaction and the other two interactions that we saw?
It looked like he was white boy.
Yeah, he was white. Yes, he was.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this, right? The level of aggression. In the first 2 videos, you can actually hear who the aggressor is. One officer run up, freeze, put your hands up, and then started shooting.
Why was they aggressive?
Right. But with this one, this officer spoke so peacefully, as if it was just a matter of fact. Oh, matter of fact, can I get that gun up off you for my protection? And instead of being aggressive with it, this was the outcome. Now, I could tell both of them sounded, well, one sounded Caucasian, the other one sounded like a whisper, but I can tell it was, he was not a brother.
Yeah, he actually was, I do believe, a white Hispanic. Let's go with that. White Hispanic.
Okay.
You know, he was actually killed after that by police. He got into a gun battle with him, and they killed him after that.
Hey.
Now, this officer had his hands at his side the whole time, right?
Yeah.
And, and that cost him his life. Can you speak on that video, Nutty?
I mean, it's like what you saw. He asked him politely, "Do you have a weapon on you?" And Buddy was like, "Yeah." Okay, can I get? I mean, the whole interaction was different. Like he would have came with, and dude was in like a pickup truck in the middle of nowhere. So you know what type of culture and climate that creates. That's not our culture. That's not our climate. He ain't got tents and rims and beats. You know what I mean? So of course, the attitude is, how you doing, buddy? Instead of motherfucker, get out the car. You know what I'm saying? And that attitude cost him his life because he was too trusting of his own kind.
You know, I said this in another video, that those are the guys police officers need to fear. People that look like them, just like us. We fear people that look like us more than we fear a Chinese man, white man, Indian man.
I know this really ain't got nothing with the subject, right? But I drive semi-trucks for a living, but it kind of do got something to do with it. So when I'm in black neighborhoods, like I work with a lot of white people, like it's like me and two other blacks, and they don't like to drive. They like when we get to the ghetto neighborhood, they like, man, lock the truck up. Woo woo. I'm like, look, bro, y'all tripping. Niggas don't know how to drive semi-trucks. When we go out to these countries and shit where they got tractors and shit, that's what you need to be watching. They're the ones who know how to drive the truck. So it's that type of attitude. It's like, you know, you always watching the person that really ain't on that instead of the person that you should be watching. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Can you elaborate on that, Trey?
Yeah, man. He just felt too comfortable, man, because he's using the wrong thing to kind of gauge whether there's danger or not. And skin tone can't be a gauge for whether you're in danger or not. You know, I just did a open carry demonstration earlier today, and I said in my live stream of that open carry demonstration that I know some white boys that would not hurt my kids, but I know some niggas out there that will kidnap and molest my kids. And if I think that I'm going to use skin tone to determine whether my kids are safe or not, I'm gonna get my kids hurt. I can't use that. That ain't gonna work. I got to use other shit to determine whether my kids is in a safe environment or who I can trust and who I can't trust, man. So race can't be no barometer for that. And this cop was just sleepwalking, man, thinking everything is smooth. And let me speak on this while I got the mic. Cops is out here doing some shit to people, trying to boss them around and tell them to do shit that even that man's own father can't do. And he bring a gun to everything that he say to everybody. If he didn't know that was going to be dangerous and he was going to find somebody that don't give a fuck, then I don't know what he expected in a job like that. I wouldn't do it. So I'm not even heartbroken that it happened to him, really. I'm going to put it like that. I don't even care.
You know, the craziest part about this whole story is the fact that there was a so-called whisper pullover. Now, what I mean by a whisper pullover is the feds asked him to pull over this guy, which happens to be a drug dealer and a known murderer or something like that. He happens to be like a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The shooter?
The shooter was a bad guy. The officer was asked.
Did you see how precise he was with the shots? He had to be a...
Did you hear the screams from the officer? Oh, oh shit.
He was precise with that shit.
He got a black heart. You can tell that ain't. Yeah, he was ready for that.
Yeah, boy.
You know, and my thing is, why would the feds let one officer pull over a dangerous criminal like that?
Niggas won't even let one of their homeboys shoot a fair one. They all got to fight if it's gonna be some beef. And they send one cop to go get this nigga. They set him up. Somebody wanted his job or something. What the fuck?
That's what
He was bait.
Something like that's off. That's weird as hell.
Now check this out.
Driver, roll the window down. Put your hands out the window. Turn the vehicle off. Put your hands out the window.
Hearing these different commands while sitting in his car with his seatbelt on, Nazario began recording from his own cell phone and put his hands out the window as ordered.
What's going on?
How many occupants are in your vehicle?
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn? What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Yo, well, guess what? I'm a veteran too. I learned to obey. Get out of the car!
What's going on?
What's going on is you're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I ask you what's going on?
Get out, now!
I have not committed any crimes.
You're being stopped for traffic violence. You're not cooperating. And this going right.
All right, I'm gonna stop this video right there. Why was this video so shocking?
To who?
Why? It's not shocking to me. It's shocking to the country because this was an active duty lieutenant in the Army.
This appears to be one of those situations, man, because who this man really is, and as cordial as he was trying to be in the midst of being, basically pulled over and attacked by armed men. The uniform is like the emperor has no clothes, man. I don't really dig that uniform shit. That's a man. There's two men with guns. That's what I see. And they got aggressive and remained aggressive. They turned up more when they realized who dude was and got a look in his face. They turned up. Like at any point they could have chilled out, man. They could have relaxed, and they just turned up, man.
What you got to say about that particular video, Mr. Don?
Man, what I got to say about it is that when you have two officers and they're behaving this way, they're no different than the average person on the streets. Their authority ceases with me. You ain't no different than a hooligan or a thug or whatever you may call the typical person that is on the street. You know what I'm saying? What makes you better than me that you can bark orders? You have no authority no more. That's how I see it. Talk to me with some sense, and I'll talk to you with some sense. Become aggressive, I become aggressive.
What I see in that video is a guy that almost lost his life.
Yeah.
Now, and I also see two cops that were not afraid, especially the elder officer. He was not afraid at all. He actually stood right in front of that truck, shook up the can of mace, and threatened the man with spraying him with the pepper spray. Now, if he would have thought about it, which he did, he thought about the threat level, and he said, you know what, I'm just gonna spray him with mace. You know what I'm saying? We're finna kick his ass. You know what I'm saying? So they thought about the threat level and said, it's no threat here because when the officer was shaking the mace, he shook the mace can at least about 10 times. That's when a person would have had the intention to flee, would have fled because the officers were away from their vehicles. You know what I'm saying? So this guy never had the intention to flee. Those officers knew that from the beginning of the stop. He's a black man. We're no threat to white officers some of the time. You know what I'm saying? But he's a black man. He's being cooperative. And the officer felt so comfortable, he put his gun away and just shook up the can of mace. Now, in another video that I did about this particular story, I actually let it play all the way through. And you can see what I call him Officer 1, the officer that initially pulled over the Army lieutenant. I call him Officer 1. But you can see in the reflection of the Chevy Tahoe that Officer 1 had put his gun away and had both his arms at his side. You know what I'm saying? That's how low the threat level was. You know what I'm saying? That the officer actually put his gun away and put his arms at his side. Now, the difference between this video and the last video is just like we said. It was a white guy that killed the officer, which killed more officers than black people, by the way, every year. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the numbers would suggest something like that. Yeah. Now tell me how you feel about this shit, Nutty.
Hey, you pointed out a lot of stuff that made sense. Like, they felt like he wasn't a threat because he was compliant. You know what I mean? They were just a little frustrated because he kept asking, why? Why I take this order? Why? I'm going to take the order, and it ain't like that. So, you know.
They actually pulled the Army lieutenant out of the car, put him on the ground, and he started to weep.
He started tweaking?
He started to weep. He started to cry.
Okay. Okay.
And it's all because he feel like he's putting his life on the line for the country. And you got
And this is
guys,
the things I get.
and this is the thanks I get. I started
It's
this
the
barbecue
motherfucking
But
shit.
don't
thanks I get.
but don't that sound familiar though? Like back in
Yeah.
the 60s and shit when niggas was going off to the war and and they was coming back home and they was going through this whole, you know what I'm saying? Like this been going on forever, bro. Like go to they war for what? They still don't care. Like,
This the
man.
this the kind of shit that made Ali say he wasn't going over there to fight them Vietnam.
Exactly. The rumble in the jungle. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, nah, what for? Nah.
Right, because like Ali said, he said, Chinese man ain't never called me a nigga.
Yeah.
You know, that was a very powerful statement right there.
Yeah.
You know, but I do believe Chinese call black people niggers all the time.
Yeah, they racist in a motherfucker. They racist in a motherfucker.
I mean, everybody racist against us. Don't nobody like us.
How this Chinese lady been serving me cat for 13 years, but she don't like me because I'm black? I want my money back.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, keeping it real. I just brought some Chinese food. I got some shrimp fried rice upstairs.
I eat the shrimp fried rice and that's it. You can't fake shrimp.
Right. Crazy said I was eating dog or something.
You can't fake shrimp. You can't fake shrimp, baby.
Hey, I definitely did tell him he was eating dog. I don't be messing with that stuff.
See, now you racist as hell. Why we talking racist shit? You racist as hell for that, nigga.
Hey, but you know it's a topic behind that one too, though.
Yeah.
You know, because over in China right now, you know during the height of the COVID thing, they were beating Africans over there and trying to place that virus, the label of the virus, on the Africans over there. So I swore off Chinese food after that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't eat very much Chinese food. I'll tell you that. But I just had the taste for something different.
Yeah.
You know, all right.
See that.
I just ate Chinese too. Hibachi, my dude. Love it.
All right. Back to the subject. Crazy to done.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about this Army veteran that was pulled out the car. How much respect did they give him?
They gave him little to none. And it's so sad because they keep running around here talking about respect the troops when Colin Kaepernick was taking his knee. Respect our troops, respect our troops. So where now is the outrage? Where is the people protesting because they feel disrespected? Why y'all not boycotting now? Y'all boycotted the NFL when they seen all those brothers taking knees.
Yeah.
Where's Donald Trump with his saying those bastards? Why he ain't saying those bastard police put their hands on one of our soldiers?
That's valid.
What happened?
Yep. Yeah.
The reality of it is that people fit a narration for their own agenda.
Yeah.
So now that you see how these officers are behaving to someone who has a different ethnicity than their own, why are you not doing anything? Why is nobody saying anything?
Let's get this straight, though, Crazy. The officer that was fired, which was be Officer 2, the elder officer, I do believe he was Hispanic. And you can tell by the Army lieutenant's last name that he's actually black and Hispanic, but he has a Hispanic last name.
See, but this is the thing why I say that, right? Is because whenever you have a person of a different culture, whenever they see, like if you get a Chinese person and you see them with a Chinese and black child, other Chinese will treat that child different. If you see it Hispanic and they have Afro-Latino, it's still gonna get called a nigga just the same way that me and you get called that way. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna treat them differently. So why was this vet treated differently by one of his own brothers? Why? Because his complexion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, not too long ago, I heard that in Mexico, that the people that were considering themselves black, they wanted to have their own identity. They did not want to. They don't want to be known as just Mexican. They want to be known as, you know what I'm saying, Afro-Mexican. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Not that they want a different name, but they actually did a survey on that, and overwhelmingly the people wanted to be known as black. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of got me like, damn, I didn't know black people were in Mexico, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Makes sense.
You didn't know that.
We explored
You
the
didn't know
world.
that. Oh my, Jenna's
It
man, you
makes
didn't know
sense.
that.
It makes sense.
They got
You know what I'm saying?
giant heads of black people down there that's been buried in the earth for hundreds of years. How you ain't know it was black people in Mexico?
All right, Trey, check this out. How we gonna stop this police brutality?
I think, man, what we need not do is to narrow the focus to strictly racial stuff, because the system in and of itself is so aggressively involved in dictating everybody's life that they will be perfectly fine just sending a black cop to shoot my black ass. They don't give a fuck. They just want it done to curb, especially a nigga like me. So I feel like including the racial issue, of course, we got to do that at all costs. But for everybody, we need to say that the cops are out here doing too much, period. If there is no victim, there is no crime. They need to get back to the Bill of Rights. Anything that they are doing to violate their oath of office needs to be called out on a daily fucking basis, way before they shoot anybody. And we got to apply this pressure so that cops feel like they can't just go through their job willy-nilly thinking that they can violate human rights, civil rights, or violate their oath of office without being challenged by educated people who know what to do when a cop does some crazy shit, especially if it ends up getting somebody shot or killed. Even bogus arrests need to be charged at these cops, not by, oh, that was a false arrest. No, you violated your oath of office. Period. That's serious. And there's rules and regulations on how to handle a cop that violates the oath of office. It's serious. This is where the danger of being a cop really is. Because to walk that line between serving and protecting like you're supposed to be doing, enforcing the laws but not violating natural and constitutional rights, that's a crazy line that I wouldn't try to walk. And they all fuck it up. They all fuck it up. Just call them out all the time, way before they shoot anybody. That's what's gonna curb it. Because then they'll all be scared to take that lane, because they'll be worried about what'll happen, or we can trust the ones that still go because they know what's gonna happen. So if you go, you can trust them, you know. But we gotta do all of that. We need all of that.
You see, that's the thing about what Minnesota is doing. Minnesota is on the forefront to me when it comes to arresting officers, because you see how quickly the female officer was arrested.
Yeah.
Now the difference. Now I'm saying that because even though the cop that pulled over the Army lieutenant was fired, man, they gave him 4 or 5 months. You know what I'm saying? They didn't release the video for 4 months. Then they fired him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like they sat down and they told him, look, man, this ain't looking good. Once we release this video, we're going to have to let you go. But they gave him 4 months to find another job, or, you know what I'm saying, to retire or think about what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now, Minnesota didn't give that woman no time. They was on her ass. She was arrested, I do believe, within 48 hours, definitely. You know what I'm saying? She was arrested. It's like this. Minnesota is on the forefront when it comes to arresting officers, as we all seen. Nutty, what do you think about the... but you got to think about it. Minnesota is a city that's on the verge of burning right now. I know people that's podcasters that then left the city of Minneapolis. They're doing a podcast from like Florida. You know what I'm saying? They going places, like they getting the hell up out of there because they're scared of what's going to happen at the end of this trial. Because you got to think about it. We got a jury of his peers, of the officer's peers, that's finna say whether he was right or wrong.
Yeah.
What you think about that, Nutty?
Well, I just I go back and forth to Minnesota. I got people up there, St. Paul and Minneapolis. And you right, man. That thing is on the cusp of meltdown, and like any rational person would know that, like, okay, this can go one or two ways. I'm not saying they right for leaving. I'm not saying they wrong for leaving. To each his own. But man, it's gonna be some. It's gonna be some shit, bro. It's gonna be some shit, and I hope I can get up there and get to my family and get them away for a couple of days while it is going on. Because right or wrong, like I gotta protect my people, and man, man.
All right, we about to close up the show. Crazy to Done. I want you to do a breakdown of all 3 videos or all 4 videos that we showed. Tell us how you feel about those videos, and tell us what you think can be done to eliminate this issue.
Video number 1, the officer barely gave the young man the opportunity to even follow his instructions. He just said freeze and then shot. Video 2, I mean, it was more of the same in my eyes. Video 3, it was so different because I really don't get a chance to see that side of law enforcement where they actually are genuinely polite. I haven't seen it. Not in my experience. With the last video, why would you pepper spray a veteran, a person that is active at this point? Why would you do that? It didn't make any sense, and he was not being aggressive towards them. But you, being the person that wants to have the authority, are the aggressor. How can you balance that out? What can I say? I mean, seriously, Congress gives these people the authority to do these things. And I think that if you continue to act like these people are always in the right and they can't be charged or fault for their actions, then we should remove you and put somebody in there who can make a proper decision and say, hey, you have to pay for this, and even more so because we gave you an authority. But I mean, that's just wishful thinking on my part. Common sense approach. I mean,
all right. I want to say thanks to the audience for tuning in, checking us out. Now, you wasn't here when we started the show, Nutty, but your song Pressure, you know what I'm saying? Because we're applying nothing but pressure.
I heard my man said it too. Let's do
it. Yeah, we're applying nothing but pressure. So that I think I want to continue to, you know what I'm saying, to play that, man, because that's what we out here doing. Trey, you got anything coming up, any events or anything that you're doing for the community that you want to tell people about?
I plan on doing a open carry demonstration with my AR, the vest, and all that. I'm gonna make sure I bring my bulletproof mask. I got a bulletproof mask. I'm bringing that. Me and my cousin.
I like that one.
Me and my cousin are gonna do an open carry demonstration in Des Moines, Iowa. We're gonna hit the Capitol. We ain't never been there, so we finna go shake it up over there and branch out a little bit because you know, we got to get up there and talk that shit, and we got to be armed when we do it. Just like the cops are armed. Every time they say anything to anybody, that's what I'm on.
All right, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, this guy's crossing the state doing good deeds. So you want to drop that Cash App information because we probably have a few people that will support you in your endeavors.
You mean me?
Yeah.
Word? Yeah. My Cash App is $ Street Armor.
$ Street Armor?
Yeah.
All right, so y'all hear that? I'm when I do the editing portion of this, I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop that name up there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. At that point. All right. You guys been great. You guys been great. I want to thank y'all for coming on to the show. You know what I'm saying? I want to thank the audience for watching the show and supporting us. And like I said, y'all go online, go to YouTube, pull up that Pressure by Nutty, the best rapper in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Y'all do that.
Nutty the Gorilla, Pressure, Lines. That's in there too. Go check them both out. Appreciate they on all music platforms. Go check it out. Like it, love it, share it. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Family.
All right. Y'all have a great night, man. I just want to say peace to y'all brothers.
Peace and love. Peace and love.